Hi and welcome to Grassy Smoked Foods. Thank you very much for joining us. On today's episode we've got Thor's Hammer, which is a beef shin shank. We're going to make that into a pulled beef and then make that into tacos. Followed by smoked pork belly. Then we're going to do an espresso flavoured chicken thigh. With some sides, we're going to do some smoked jalapeno sausages. We're going to make up a fresh salsa smoked on the grill. And we're going to do some bocconcini stuffed meatballs. Welcome to the show and hope you enjoy it. We're going to start off with Thor's Hammer. Now, with Thor's Hammer, the butchers generally don't like it because you're cutting off a good bit of meat there. We're going to start off with a mustard binder here. All right, so just a nice slather of mustard around, all the way around the sides. Now, give that a good rub around. We've got our binder on. We're going to layer this with 2 Smoky Joe's rubs flavours. We're going to start with the pepper steak and then top it off. We're going to finish it with the sweet beets. All right, and that'll give us a really nice flavour. Right, you want a nice even coating. Then leave a few gaps, a little bit on the top. Alright, and then we're going to change over, fill in those gaps with the sweet beets. Now what we want to do is make sure we get some of that on the bottom as well, where the bone is. Alright, we're going to throw that on to the smoker and that's going to cook for about 10 to 12 hours. We're going to be on about a 107 degrees Celsius to start with, and then we're going to turn it up towards the end. When you're using your Z grill, make sure you read all the instructions of safe operating. When you start it, lift the lid, let that air flow through so that the fire can start and get that smoke going. Once that smoke starts going, right, you know it's lit, you can close the lid down, turn it to your desired temperature and start operating. Alright, so you can see that smoke starting to come through, so the fire pot's starting to work and that fire is building. So we put the lid down, put it to our desired temperature, which is 107 to start with. And then we're going to get that going. Alright, so with that nice smoke there, we're going to put on Thor's Hammer and get that started. For our next dish, we're going to do our pork belly. Now it's going to have to sit in the fridge, so we're going to prepare that now. So we've got this lovely piece of pork belly from Meats on Mitchell. So what we're going to do is we're going to prepare this. We're going to open it up and then we're going to punch a heap of holes into it. All right, so we've got this tool here. All right, so we can So what that does is puts lots of little holes in there. Now we're going to get some paper towel and we're going to just dry out that skin. On top of the pork belly, we want to put some salt and then put it into the fridge. We're going to use Smoky Joe's rubs, loaded salt. We're going to use the chili and lime. All right, and we want a good coating of this. That's going to go into the fridge and dry out. So we're going to leave that in there for about 6 hours. Normally it'd be 24 hours, but unfortunately we don't have the time. So the tricks of TV, we're going to put in for 6 and yeah, get it to come out there. All right, back soon. Okay, so we're just checking on our beef. We're just going to give it a bit of a spritz. Looking sensational. Internal temperatures currently sitting about 69 degrees, and that'll come up nicely. Got our pork belly out of the fridge now, so it's had time to settle. What we're going to do now is we're going to flip it, season it, and then put it onto the smoker. What we're going to use today is we've got our honey hog from Smoky Joe's rubs, and we're going to season this really nicely on the back side and the sides. Try not to get the skin. Alright, pat that in nicely. Down the sides. And all those sides. Alright, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put this onto the smoker and we're going to put that skin side up. So we want this side showing. That'll go onto the smoker for around 2.5 hours. We're doing that at 135 degrees. We want an internal temperature of around 90 degrees. Once we get to that, we'll flip it over. We'll get the skin nice and crispy. That'll need to go on for at least another hour, maybe hour and a half, right, until we get that nice crispy skin. We'll come back to check on that in about 2 hours, see what that temperature's doing, and see how much longer we need. What we're going to do now is we're going to do another couple of baby back ribs. Crowd favourite, so that's why we're doing them. We're not going to show you because we did that on episode 1, but we are going to do a couple of different flavour profiles using Smoky Joe's rubs. So we're going to start with the Cajun mixed with the Mojo. And second of all, we're going to go for a little bit of darkened colour. We're going to go for the gunpowder mixed with the pixie dust. So looking forward to these. Let's see what our friends think of the flavours. And hopefully we have a winner. Alright, now we just want that little sprinkling of colour. Let's see how they go in the smoker. So Thor's hammer has stalled. So to get it through that stall, what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it in foil. So first of all, I'm going to grab a heat-proof glove. Grab out the hammer. Still got the meter probe in it. What we're going to do is we're going to pop it down here and we're going to wrap this up nice and tight. Make sure that meter probe stays out. So see here, just pop that through. And now we'll throw that back on the smoker to bring that up to temperature so that it'll finish off its cook. We want that to be around 93 degrees, so it's just fall off the bone. Next up, we've got our chicken thighs. So for all your barbecue needs, Meats on Mitchell, we've got these chicken thighs here from them. What we're going to do is we're going to coat them with Smoky Joe's rubs. So we're going to go for the espresso, and we're going to add a little bit of the garlic butter to it. So good combination, and we're going to pop that onto our chicken breast. So we're only going to do a light sprinkle just to give it a little bit of flavour. The garlic butter just really tops off and gives it that nice finish. So give it a good sprinkle. You'll see all that flavour going across there. So this will go onto the smoker, currently sitting at 135 degrees. This will take about an hour and a half to 2 hours to cook, which will be perfect for everything else that's coming out at the same time. For our chicken, we need to make sure that it gets to 74 degrees to ensure it's safe. Always pick the thickest part of the chicken to test so that you have safe food for all of your guests. For our Thor's hammer, what we're going to do is we're going to turn them into tacos. So we're going to make up a nice fresh smoked salsa, and to do that we're going to cut up some capsicum, red and green, and some red onion, and we're going to smoke that there. To do that, we've got this tube here, so we can put the vegetables straight into here, and our little hook to grab that out. So we're going to cut this up, put it into here, and pop that onto the smoker. Just make sure when you are cutting it, right, that you don't make it small, that it'll actually go through these holes. We pop our lid back on there, still a bit of room to move. Alright, so what we want to do is we put that back on the smoker, and we keep rotating this so that all bits get the smoke effect. And then when we're finished, we'll put that all together, mix it all through, and we'll have a lovely smoked salsa. For our next dish, we're doing a jalapeno sausage from Meats on Mitchell, and we're going to add in some cream cheese, some jalapenos on top, and then some shredded cheese just to give it a nice flavouring. So Meats on Mitchell for all your needs. All right, what we're going to do here is we're going to use the knife and create a nice opening here. We're going to cut these open. Right, and you can see all the lovely ingredients inside here. So what we're going to do here is open these up. We've got our Philadelphia cream cheese. What you're going to do is, this is at room temperature. We're going to cut this open. Right, and we're going to use this Philadelphia cream cheese as part of the filling. I'm going to spread that out over the whole sausage. Then we're going to get our jalapeno, and we're just going to create some nice circles here. Right, and we're going to use these on top. Then we're going to add in some cheese. So we want some grated cheese just on top like that. So when we smoke this, we're going to have a nice sausage here with jalapenos, cream cheese, and cheese, and that should all melt down absolutely beautifully. So we'll do the rest of these and get them on the smoker. Now remember, if you're looking for a bit more heat, you can leave these seeds in, and that will just spice it up a little bit. The Thor's hammer has hit temperature, so we're going to take it off and rest it. So again, I'm going to grab my heat-proof glove to get this off because it's going to be very hot. It's at 93 degrees. All right, we're going to pop it into this tray. We're going to wrap this up. Put it into a towel. right, and rest it in our esky, which has been sitting there with a kettle so that it's nice and warm. We'll pop that in, and that'll rest for the next couple of hours, and then when we're finished, we'll be ready to pull that apart. For our next dish, we're going to do some bocconcini stuffed meatballs. We're going to use a simple recipe here. We've got our fresh mince from Meats on Mitchell. Added to that, we're going to use a Tuscan flavour from Smoky Joe's Rubs, and we're going to add a little bit of the loaded salt, and we're just going to do a herb one, so it gives us that nice flavour. So to start with, we're going to add in our mince. All right, and we're just going to add in some nice herbs and flavouring in here. Want to get that nicely coated all the way around. And then just a little bit of the loaded salt. Don't need too much. Obviously that will add a lot of salt flavour to it. So just a little bit, and with that nice herb flavour. As we're mixing that through, try and get that flavour all the way through. Now we're going to add in a couple of eggs here. All right, so the egg will act as a binder, and it will get that meatball to form really strong. Once you've mixed through, right, you can also have a look to see how those herbs have gone through, and you can add some additional spices if you'd like. So I'm going to add a few more spices here, so I'm going to take the glove off here and add a bit more of that Tuscan rub in, just to give it that flavouring. I'm going to grab another glove because we're going to roll these. Before I do that, I'm going to just take out our bocconcini balls, and we're going to grab our meatball, and we want to try and get that into a meatball shape. Right, poke a little hole, pop your bocconcini ball in there, right, and then wrap it all the way around so you get that nice coating. Right, and there's your first meatball. All right, so we're going to do that a number of times till we get all these in. Pop that in, form it around it. You want it to make sure it seals all the way over because you don't want the cheese to leak back through. With the meatballs now formed, we'll take them over to the smoker. It's currently sitting at 135 degrees. They'll need about an hour to an hour and a half to make sure that the beef is cooked, and they'll be ready to serve. So after a quick dip in the pool, quick costume change, back to get some of the food off and serve up. The pork belly is ready to turn over. So what we're going to do now is we're going to flip it to get that nice crunch on top. So we've flipped that over. It should be about half an hour for us to get that nice and crispy. Could take a little bit longer, so we'll let that go and come back and check it shortly. So first light off, we've got our jalapeno sausages filled with cream cheese and jalapenos with a tasty cheese on top. And then we've got our bocconcini stuffed meatballs. Next up, we've got our chicken thigh. And what we're going to do, because we're sharing this, we're going to chop this up. So this had an internal temperature of just over 80, so it's well and truly cooked. And very, very hot. So as you can see, nicely cooked there. And we'll slice that up, and that will go onto the tray, and then people can serve themselves. Next up, we're going to grab off the smoked capsicum and onion and make up a nice salsa. Next, we're going to do our salsa. So we've got our vegetables here that have just come off the smoker. We're going to mix these here with a little bit of balsamic vinegar to give it that nice flavour through. And that will be served with dinner. Okay, so the pork belly is not ready. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get the grill plate out. I'm going to add some oil to that, and we're going to put it over there to crisp it up. It's time to bring out Thor's hammer and see how we went. So let's grab that. Alright, so here we have Thor's hammer. Beautiful piece of meat. Haven't done this before, but let's give it a go. Clean off the bone. Now we're going to pull it apart, and that just fall apart. Absolutely sensational. All right, lovely piece of meat. Very hot piece of meat. Now we've got our beef done, we're going to do up some tacos, and we've got our mission tacos. We're going to heat these up on our sandwich grill to give them that nice finish. All right, we can do 2 at a time, and we'll run these through. They'll only take about 30 seconds to heat up, and then they're ready to serve. What we've done is we've melted the butter onto the hot plate. We're going to move our pork belly across, face down or skin side down, so that we can get that crackle going. So what we're going to do now is we're going to check on our pork belly and see if it has crisped up. If it hasn't, we're going to try something different. So looking at that, that has crisped up nicely. So that one is now ready. So we're going to bring that over here. Okay, so we've got our pork belly off. Now we're going to chop into it. All right, so I'm going to grab our nice Z Grills board. Put our pork belly onto there. Using our trusty knife. All right, you can feel that. Absolutely beautiful. So we're going to cut this into nice big squares. Oh, and you just hear that juices. So we've got a bit of our crackling here. All right. Thank you very much for joining us for this episode of Grassy Smoked Foods. Hope you enjoyed it. Please try some of the dishes that we've made today and enjoy. So we'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.
Calling all barbecue, grill and smoking enthusiasts. Meats on Mitchell is the place to go in Bendigo. They cater for the low and slow, stocking a wide range of briskets, ribs, chicken, pork, bacon and much more. Stocking an excellent range of rubs and sauces. Whether you're new to smoking or a seasoned professional, Meats on Mitchell is the place to get all of your needs.